excited to do this video because I re-released the weight loss one before, so I get to expand upon it, which has been awesome. I get to really dig into what I want to cover in this video is like the emotional problems with food and how we're going to work with that to try and re-release some of your restrictions. But first of all, I want to have a little like explainer moment. So these videos I'm trying to keep super chill. Like, I want the vibe to be you and me are sat in your room and I'm just chatting away to you on the sofa with a cup of tea. That's the energy I was kind of going for. That's why there's not like a huge massive set. That's why it's not a bit extreme with like 10 lights and 10 cameras and loads of like fancy stuff. It is just me being authentic because I just want to be able to sit in your living room and talk to you, but I can't because I cannot teleport and you do not have the time to deal with me chatting away for hours and hours and hours and being like, oh, so how does your brain work? Let's talk about you, because I will get you talking forever. So we're gonna have a nice chill video call instead. So this video, we're gonna chat about the emotional connection you have with food. This is super cool. So where are we gonna start actually? So I've explained that weight loss is basically math. If you live, you have maintenance. If you eat too much, you gain weight, and if you lose weight and you eat less, you lose weight. Simple. We've explained that that's how math works. So you just have a calorie allowance, eat more, eat less, move more. Like, weight loss is just simple. So I don't really have to explain that over and over again unless you want me to. Something I will cover is the fact that it's not always a day-to-day thing. Sometimes you can have big weeks, you can have small weeks, it doesn't matter. So we're not gonna overstress about calories. Like, if you have a big day, no problem, we'll just shave off the next couple of days, just eat a little less, it's no problem. We all have those days. I've been there. I live in those days sometimes and I'm just like, oh, I ate too much today. I was hungry.
I'm hungry, Mother. I really am.
So the first thing I want to chat about in this video is explaining that food is just fuel. This is something I didn't cover in the last thing and I don't know why I didn't. So food is just energy, like gasoline in a car. You put it in the car and the car drives you places. Food is exactly the same, which means if you want to lose weight, you don't have to eat healthy. You can lose weight eating chocolate bars. Legit, you can lose weight just eating cake because the energy is the same. You ate less calories, so you lost weight. Like, the food isn't actually the problem. Like, you can, like, there's no reason to eat healthy unless you want to. If you want to lose weight, you can lose weight eating cheese strings. But that begs the question, why am I encouraging you to eat clean and eat healthy? Like, why eat kale when you could eat cake? Cake is great. So is kale, I'll have you know. I love kale. So the thing about eating clean is we do it for our mental health, not for weight loss. Now, I'm going to explain this. How should I explain it? Oh, like a car. Okay, so you have your car and you can put expensive fuel or cheap fuel into it. So if you put the cheap fuel in, it'll be a bit craggy, it'll be a bit grumbly, but you know, it'll get to where you need to go. And if you put in the premium car, like, the car purrs. Like, and people who put premium fuel in their car, oh, they have shiny cars, they're always so nice, and they drive around having the best life with their Ray-Bans on. Like, those people have the best life. Like, our bodies are the same. We can either fill it with cheap, shitty fuel, it'll still do what it needs to do, or we can fill it with premium fuel and it'll still do what it needs to do, but it'll be a lot happier while it does it. So let's chat about it on like a chemical level. So what happens in your brain when you eat processed shitty foods? First of all, I'm going to cover what processed food is. So I'm going to try and make it simple. If it was made in a factory, it's probably processed food. So like candy bars, any kind of ready meal, anything that's got more than 5 ingredients in, like any of that, processed. So what happens when you eat a lot of the chemicals and stuff that you're getting and the huge amount of sugar and glucose syrup, you get a massive shot of dopamine, which means you get happy real fast and you're like, I'm having the best day. But a bit like cocaine, you feel great and then you feel awful and you don't know why, because you've got up and then suddenly you're really low, much lower than you were before, and you're like, I don't know what happened. I was in such a good mood earlier and now I feel awful. Sugar. All of the shit food you're eating just makes you do this. And it is exhausting because you're walking around your day going, I feel great, I feel awful. Eat food, I feel great, I feel awful, all the time. So there's no consistency to how you feel or what you do, and it's just like, I just want to feel normal for like 2 minutes. That is why we eat clean, so we can not, because if you eat not processed food, if you eat clean food, your mood is more like this. It's much mellower because you don't have anything triggering you to be happy and then dropping you down like you're sad. It's just happy, and then occasionally you have a boop, but when you drop back down from the sugar, you return to the same level you were at, so it doesn't go like boom boom, it goes like boom boop, like a little blip. So it's actually, we're gonna move on to the next section, snacking. So before we talk about snacking, I actually want to give you 2 quick tips before I forget from Michael Pollan's book. It is here, I got it out for us. Right, this book has about 50 food rules on how to eat healthy. I'm gonna give you 2 which I thought were the most helpful in my life. 1, don't eat anything that has more than 5 ingredients. And you think about it and you're like, well, no, I always eat food that has more than 5 ingredients, or don't. And then you look at the back of a processed food and you're like, there are 80 things in here, which leads us to the second rule. Don't eat anything a 5-year-old couldn't pronounce. So you'll look at the back and be like, oh my god, there's 27 things, and I can't pronounce 26 of them. I know what glucose is, I do not know what is. No one does. If you can't see it picturing growing in a field, then don't eat it. Right, snacking. And after yet another battery problem, we're back. Now this philosophy is fantastic for about 70 to 80% of your life. Like, let's say all your main meals. So breakfast, you could switch out cereal with something like a homemade oat bar, or dinner you can switch out a frozen spaghetti with your own homemade spaghetti with the own ingredients that you know you've put in. Cooking is easy and cooking is fun. But yeah, those are really great most of the time. But the thing about being healthy 100% of the time is it is unsustainable and it sucks. Paleo sucks. Like, it is death by kale. I eat pretty clean, but we all need snacks, or you'll do what I do and is be 100% super clean and then explode. And this is a pattern for me, this always has been. I'd eat super clean, be 100% perfect, and then I would binge 2,000 calories a day. Well, more like 4,000, 5,000, you know, that kind of, it was a huge amount of food where I'd just eat a whole pack of cookies and a whole pack of M&Ms, a whole pack of mini eggs. Like, I would just binge on it, cry, and then be super clean again, which meant I never lost any weight, because I would just be like, I've lost weight, and then put it back on, and then lost, and then put it back on. It's unsustainable, it's miserable, because you're just like, oh, I don't want this shit food, and it's the worst. So I don't recommend that you do it. The problem isn't always just with food, it is the judgment that we put upon food. So for example, if we eat a bad food, we guilt ourselves and be like, you are a bad food, you are a bad person. And it's like, stop! Just stop, because don't! We're just sat there guilting ourselves for eating something, and it's like, there's no need. So one thing I really want to encourage you to do is to stop restricting yourself with foods, like any foods. There is nothing off limits. So if you want to eat a chocolate bar, you can eat it. No judgment. This is super important for your like brain, because you don't, there's no like, with restriction, there's the option for you to be like, and go into binge mode, because you're like, I can't have it, therefore I wanted more. But if you take off the restriction, it means you can eat whatever you want, and you can choose if you want to eat it. So I did this for me, and it switched off that binging, like starvation mindset, because I could eat it, but I chose not to. So I would like, I'd want M&Ms, but I didn't go and eat them because I could, but I didn't want to. And all that need to just inhale everything, so normally I just like binge, it went, because I could have it. I just don't want it. It was phenomenally new news to me. So this was a huge mindset shift, because you go from a state of starvation to a state of abundance, and all of that guilt is gone. There is no guilt for anything you eat, and it is amazing, because then you get to choose. And if you do end up choosing to eat a huge amount of processed food, then you could just cut the next couple of days, eat a little less, eat a couple more veggies to make up for it. It's all fluid now, and it's like, it's a huge, big, important thing in your brain, just that switch. I want to talk to you about experimenting. So I don't quite know how to put this, but like, this entire experience will be like an experiment. I'll give you some ideas and you can test them, see if they work for you. They might not work for you, not everything does, and we'll just try something else. And this is the great thing about life. It's just this huge, beautiful journey. You get to try stuff, doesn't work for you, then you try something else and it does work for you, and you're like, whoo, and I'm just gonna be sat here like, I'm so excited, you're doing so well. I'm just gonna be the cheerleader behind you, go, woo. So I love the fact that we need to just experiment and try. Like, it's boring if someone tells you what to do. It's more fun if you get to poke the bear, try it yourself. It's always great. So what have we covered? We've covered, one, that you can eat whatever you want to lose weight. It is just a matter of maths. You can eat whatever. But we've also covered that eating healthy is important because it helps our mental health. And thirdly, we are not going to restrict anything. If we want to eat something, we're going to eat it, and it's going to be fine because we can always compensate around it. If we want the M&Ms, we're going to eat the M&Ms. If you hadn't noticed, I really like crispy M&Ms. They actually, you know, snapped me out of veganism once because I love them so much. Pizza and M&Ms, oh, that's the dream. So if there is anything else you want to talk to me about food, just message me afterwards. But I watched a macro video, but now also I want to chat about my eating disorder, or I want to chat about what my diet's going to look like, no problem. Just message me, tell me about your goals, and we'll work your life around it. If you did want to talk to me about an eating disorder, I'm not a licensed person, but also I've had an eating disorder before for like 15 years, so I do know how deep they can go. And I can give you some tips on what helped me, but we can work out where you are on the scale of eating disorder and how in control you feel, and we can work with it to make you feel better, or Lord forbid, cure you, because there is a cure. I didn't know this. I always thought I was always gonna be like this. And then one day I found the cure and it was crazy. But it is an incredibly complex subject, so I'd rather talk to you one-on-one about what your problems are. But apart from that, this has been great. It's been so exciting to talk about this sort of thing. I think that's everything that I want to talk about right now. If you want to chat about anything, message me. We could talk about something else. Woo. Right, I hope you all have a great day, and I will send you the next video in the next couple of days, which I think is going to be on Nancy, the inner critic. Can't wait to talk about her. She's the worst. Have a great day. So what have we covered? We've covered that I can't read. This book by Michael Pollan, it has about 50 food rules that you're supposed to adhere to eat healthy and clean. This dress is driving me insane, don't mind me.